In today's episode, stupid boss cripples Navy ships connectivity. Death over hold music. That's a want, not a need. Try printing it upside down. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Stupid boss cripples Navy ships connectivity. A little more than a decade ago, when I was still active duty U.S. Navy, we were on a deployment and at that point sailing in the Mediterranean Sea. One of my technicians was working on the main interface between the ship's internal networks and the satellite. Everything went through this system: internet, email, message traffic, ship-to-shore phones, secure networks, etc. We had been having a minor connection issue with the shore facility. Boss tells my tech to enter a change into the configs, no change. Boss tells him to enter a different change, without undoing the first, no change. This goes on for about 30 minutes or so. Then I hear this. Boss, change that to this, then restart. Tech, I have to copy the running config over to startup first, should take a minute or two. Boss, I know how this system works, I went to the school for it, just restart it. Asterisk note, he went to the school for 2 versions ago, different OS, didn't work the same anymore. One of the commands he had the tech enter had cleared the startup config file during the last 30 minutes star. Tech, if I just restart, will lose every config in the system, and a reload will take a lot longer. Boss, just do what I tell you to do. Bigger boss needs to get messages out for our next port visit. Note, I had talked to Bigger Boss earlier in the day. He was glad to not have a ton of emails coming in and couldn't care less. Tech, just let me copy this and I'll restart. Boss, just get out of my way and I'll do it. Tech walked over to me and said we had better open the safe and get the backup configs ready. We entered our combos in the safe and pulled the disk. I looked at the sleeve and the date of last backup was after we left home port, no big deal. Boss, what? I can't get into anything now. We walk over, disk in hand, and get ready to reload everything. Pop the disk in, pull up the file just to visually verify everything, and the file has only the header, nothing else. I ask Boss, who according to the log did the last backup. It's an easy process, and he usually always took the easy ones because Boss, if he had verified the file before he burnt the disk. Boss, WTF, do you think I am an idiot? Of course I did, everything was there. Me, nothing is here now. Tech, pull the older disk out and we'll try to rebuild from there. Tech, looking confused, there isn't an older one. Me, there has to be, we keep 2 for just this reason. Tech, it's not here, man, take a look. I go through every disk in the binder, he's right, it's gone. Boss, I shredded it, we only need the most current. Me, uwa sai. Tech, hand me the sat phone, I'll be up on deck for a bit. Because Boss wanted to save the ginormous amount of space that a single CD takes up, we were completely disconnected with an empty box of a router. It took me over 2 hours of dropped SAT calls to a few civilian techs I knew to get a new config made and sent out via regular mail. 2 weeks later we got the disk in hand and had the system restored in about an hour. Boss was ordered Bigger Boss to not touch that system again while stationed on board. This is but one of many tales from USN Tech Support, and yes, users are just as stupid if not more so sometimes. Death over hold music. This was a weird call. Like, really odd from the beginning. For background, I'm a call center tech for fancy treadmills with overpriced membership for the fancy video workouts. That's it. Also, mention of suicide warning. Maybe read something else if that's an issue. So, been a normal day. Refunds of overpriced membership costs. People didn't read the paragraph next to a checkbox when they signed up, factory resets for common issues, etc. Just finished with someone, I think a refund call, then I moved to the next one. Hey, software and membership department, how can I help you? Caller, oh good, that's one, maybe you can actually help me. Me, sorry, one? Caller, I've got 2 other phones calling you guys, let's get them on and make it a race to see who can help me first. Cue about a minute of both other agents answering, me hearing them in the background and him saying same thing. Add in several minutes of nearly unintelligible yammering about how he was promised some membership and a free heart rate monitor for a reason I couldn't hear for some unacceptable issue he had, and how nobody is responding to him or something. Our call queues are horrendously long and our emails are thousands of tickets backlogged, because either corporate refuses to appropriately staff us or something. Now, another detail: the promises were from another department. Of course, all I needed was evidence of the promise for the membership, cue me asking for a screenshot of the email promise, him sending it, and my part being over, but for the heart rate monitor he had to talk to that other department. As I'm pulling stuff up, I hear caller, AE Gug how AGHEU. Agent 3 hung up. So I'm lying low at this point and just getting the stuff done and only asking for the absolutely necessary stuff. Apparently this made me a hero because he started telling the other agent that C can help me. Why can't you? Poor girl. Then I overhear the other agent saying she needs to put him on hold while she grabs a sup. Word was manager, but for this case costs some guy comes up demanding something. So the guy says, here it comes. Caller, don't you expletive dare put me on hold again. I will slit my wrists, and that's a threat of suicide, so you have to listen to me. Well, I finished my part up, was thanked by him, of course. He complained about the other agent in the process, and then took a breather. That's a want, not a need. Short and sweet story that I was reminded of from another post. This was very early in my first few months at my current MSP, and since I was still pretty green, I was put on the chat team instead of the phone answering team. One morning, a chat comes in from a user at one of the bigger companies we support. $me equals me, Nujdak. $u equals user. Bing chat comes in. $me, hello, thank you for contacting, MSP name, this is Nujdak, how can I help you? $u, I need a new keyboard, I can't do my work efficiently with the old one. For context, this company offers their users 2 different keyboards based on the work they do. Users can either get a keyboard with a number pad or one without. Same brand, same model line, the only difference is if there is a number pad or not. Since it's an engineering company, some engineers like the smaller keyboard to give more desk space. However, accountants would like the number pad, etc. $me, sure thing, we can look at that. What keyboard do you have now? Does it have a number pad? $u, yes. $me, okay, so just to confirm, you'd like the keyboard without a number pad, is that correct? $u, actually, I'd like this URL to an Amazon link for a $320 gaming keyboard. $me, unfortunately, we don't provide those, so the only 2 options are the keyboard you have, and one without a number pad. $u, but I really need it to work. I need the extra keys for macros. $me, in that case you will need to talk to your manager for anything above what we usually provide, as we are not authorized to order anything that is not agreed upon by us and the management of company name. Then, we will need a proper expense request from you, approved by your manager, and then we can order the keyboard. $u, disconnects abruptly. I think nothing of it aside from chuckling about it with my work colleagues, and then move on. Until 2 weeks later, when a message comes over our All-Techas Teams chatboard from my team lead that reads to whoever spoke with a user at company name in the last 2 weeks about upgrading a keyboard, please let us know. Well, that certainly sounds like me. I reach out to the team lead who wants to know what happened. I provide the chat log and stress that was the only interaction I had on the matter. Turns out, the employee took it upon themselves to go to the store, purchase the keyboard they wanted, then expense it to the company. When the employee was caught and asked why they thought it was okay to expense a $320 gaming keyboard to the company, their response was, "IT told me to do it this way as they wouldn't order it for me." Well, that argument fell apart once I provided the chat log. I was off the hook, the user got in trouble, and was not reimbursed, and everything was wrapped up nicely. Except the keyboard was stolen a week later. But that's none of my concern. TLDR, user wants us as the MSP to order a $320 gaming keyboard to replace the working keyboard. They have to be more efficient at their work. When we say we won't do that without approval from their manager, they decide to buy it themselves and expense it to their company. When questioned on it, they say IT told me to do it. Try printing it upside down. Hi all, IH here. Been working with IT and doing my own tech support for 15 plus years, turned it into a one-man business after graduation in 2019. Long-time lurker, first-time poster in r/TalesFromTechSupport, but this is a story I just had to share, winky face. Late on one particular night I received a call from a long-time customer, long enough to predate the opening of my business. I'd recently helped him with OS upgrade on his PC, and he's mostly been fine getting things set up as he prefers them without any additional help from me. As our story starts though, he's had to call me up, because he needs to print something, and his printer isn't working. As I, and I'm sure many other IT techs can attest, printers are the bane of our existence. Printers are box-shaped demons with ink/toner for blood, that can always find ways to frustrate even the most experienced tech wizards. Fortunately, my client's issues tonight turned out to be a simple configuration issue that was resolved pretty quickly. Unfortunately, this is only the start of our printer story. The client wants me to demonstrate the printer is working by helping him print out 3 particular pages of a document, in this specific case, pages 3, 4 and 17. No big deal, I remote into his PC, load up this PDF file, and tell it to print the 3 cherry-picked pages. Over the call, I can hear his printer spin to life, and the sounds of print heads move over paper. All good, methinks. Only there's one catch. According to the client, pages 4 and 17 didn't print anything. I asked the client if he means the printer just stopped after printing page 3, but that apparently isn't the case. The printer has printed page 3 correctly, but has then printed 2 blank pages. My first thought was that the printer had probably just ran out of ink, but sadly this wasn't the case. Page 3 had been printed perfectly first time and subsequent times, and printing a pretty color test page worked perfectly too. But if given pages 4 and 17 of this cursed document, it simply wouldn't print anything. Over the course of the call, we tried just about everything, changing ink density and scaling settings, turning both the PC and the printer on and off again, even exporting the pages to a separate .pdf file or to .jpg or .png images. The result was the same every time. The printer would fire up, you could hear the print heads moving over the page, but it simply wouldn't put ink to paper, and would then proceed to spit out a blank page. Something about the content of this print job was making the printer refuse to put ink to paper, and there seemed like no solution in sight. After about an hour of grasping at straws, we were both about ready to give up, when the client made a suggestion. Try printing it upside down. I exported the pages to images, rotated them 180 degrees, and sent them to the evil magic paper box. They printed perfectly.